From a secure location somewhere under the Earth's crust, safe from the coronavirus, this is Running Rogue with Ricky Rogue and Chris.
So, how are you today?
I can't say I'm not sick. Allergies are a problem, especially at this time of year.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, the fact that we deal with dust literally all day, and if you so much as sneeze or cough right now, I mean, people run. It's like turning the lights on with cockroaches. It's terrible.
So people are going to hear me cough right now, like every once in a while. I have allergies, and it's pollen fucking everywhere, and every time I cough, or even just kind of have a shortness of breath because I'm holding in a cough, people just take like a good long step backwards, and they're constantly like, "You okay?" I'm like, "I swear I'm fine."
Yeah, they take like a good 3-4 feet back.
Oh,
on top of the 6 they already have.
Oh yeah, but they'll take like they cartoonishly. They will just take that that 3-foot step in one long step.
Yeah, no, it's not even like polite. It's just no, not getting sick.
And that's not even what bothers me. What bothers me is when I do that and they step closer.
Yeah, no, that's the disturb. And okay, so it has been everywhere to the point that one of the other guys we hang out with, he was even posting on Discord where it's even on Minecraft.
Yeah. Like,
there is no escaping. You know what's going on. You know the common sense things, and yet people will walk right up to you to the point that, I mean, they might as well give you a hug.
Well, the thing is, people don't take it seriously. Like, I'm going to be straight up, I don't take it as seriously as I probably should. But as someone who understands what specifically is happening, I know that I'm not affecting anyone else, and that's all I give a shit about. Is that, if you're going to endanger yourself, that's not what I care about. It's the fact that you endangering yourself is endangering everybody else.
Yeah.
This is a global pandemic. It's shitty. Fucking deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, just common sense stuff, guys. Wash your hands, use hand sanitizer, don't cough on people. I cannot tell you, in the past week, how many people have coughed in my face. But no, don't cough on people. Don't hug people right now. It's just, I don't know. I don't understand the public anymore. Everybody wants to freak out and buy toilet paper, but they're also gonna be stupid.
There's so many people who are like, "Oh, I gotta get gloves. I gotta wear gloves everywhere." And I'm like, "What's that gonna do? What's the difference between wearing a glove and not? It's not like skin contact is what's causing the infection. It's you touch something and then you touch your face.
Yeah.
When you're wearing a glove, nothing changes."
Yeah. It's just I don't know, man. I really don't understand the general public anymore. I've given up trying.
Well, it's more or less that people don't want to think, and people will tell them what they want to hear. And they'll be like, if I wear gloves and I wear all the toilet paper, you
might as well
wear all the toilet paper.
Might as well at this point.
You can be close out toilet paper. I mean, it won't last long, but I'm sure you can.
Hope it doesn't rain. Unless that's your thing, then go for it.
I don't know. If it rains, I feel like it won't dissolve right away. If you have enough layers,
it would be a bad situation either way.
You'll be heavier. You'll definitely get heavier.
And I don't know if you've ever had toilet paper drop in the sink, and you're like, "Oh, I'll just let it dry out," and then it gets almost like a brick.
No, it never dries out, and when you finally get toilet paper that's kind of dry, it's like, that's a crusty part. That's I don't know where that's been, even though 3 weeks ago, you remember, it just dropped in the sink. It wasn't even a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's a glorified weapon.
I say 3 weeks ago, but toilet paper.
How long does toilet paper last in your house, Rich?
Well, I'm more thinking of I don't do it mostly with toilet paper, but if I have a thing of paper towel and it kind of drips into the sink and I'll leave that for a while, that's what I'm going off of.
Yeah.
I want to say they're similar things, but I would not wipe with paper towel.
I mean,
that's a bad time.
And honestly, you're not wrong. But even the toilet paper, and I've done it every time, you end up throwing away the wet toilet paper roll, but you still try.
Oh yeah, there's always
you try to rescue it for whatever reason. I don't know why. Because you
don't want to wait. You're like, I don't want to waste this. It's here. You try, and you're like, it's a lost cause. Cut your losses. We're done.
Yeah, but you always try. Yeah, I don't know. We're resilient like that. I'm going to try to word it in a positive way.
I mean, to be honest, like, people are problem solvers, even if the solutions they come up with are terrible. No one's doing something just to be stupid. They're doing it because think there's a method to their madness, but their reasoning is justified only to them.
Kind of leaning into our subject a little bit, Elon Musk.
Yeah, we'll get there when we get there.
Touching on our subject today, definitely Elon Musk falls into that category.
Oh yeah, oh god, watching that video, but we'll get there. I'm ready to go into it, but
that might turn into a really big rant, but
yeah, but the idea is that, like, if I'm gonna throw this out there, if you are upset there is no hand sanitizer, you're going about this the wrong way. Soap, literally any soap. Like, I'm not even saying antibacterial soap, even though that's actually better for reasons I'll explain later. Just soap, because it's a virus. It's fatty. And soap just annihilates that. That's why when it's like, oh, it's a joke, but really just wash your hands, it's all you have to do. They're serious about that. Yeah. Because washing the hands and the way you scrub will absolutely destroy the virus on your hands and on you. It's just that once it's in you, there's a problem.
That's when you have an issue. Like, okay, so the hand sanitizer is great for situations and going back to work. I can't go after every couple of customers and wash my hands. I don't have that kind of time. But I can put hand sanitizer on and then, every half hour, go wash my hands. And it helps. Yeah, it helps. That's more what the hand sanitizer is for. Versus, if you have the ability to go wash your hands.
If you are at home and you have access to running water, do not buy sanitizer. If you work at a doctor's office, and yes, there's running water, but you're also working with people, get hand sanitizer.
Right.
If you're in retail, hand sanitizer. If you work at the bank, especially the bank, hand sanitizer, because you're touching money, which is the grossest thing. At least in retail, most of the time, people have cards.
Yeah.
Nowadays, most people have cards. Someone gave me money with gunk on it, and it was gross, and I could not wash my hands enough. But the idea is that hand sanitizer should be for people who need it. If you're at home, you don't need it. You really don't need it. You just wash your hands if you're going to be a panicker, wash every hour. If you're a realistic person, anytime you come into contact with something, you don't know where it originated from, wash your hands.
Right.
So money, other people, if you get the mail, that's when you do. If you're going grocery shopping, don't touch your face, go home, wash your hands.
Okay, the little bottles of hand sanitizer, like the ones that you can clip on. I used to have one on my belt when I worked at AutoZone, just because alcohol is great at getting grease and stuff off. But one of those, carries. I've got one in my truck right now, just in case I have to touch money or whatever. Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong. If you have one already, you got it. It's over. You got it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm saying for the rest of this, because this is not over. This is in 2 weeks. This ain't over. In 3 months, this isn't over. A year, if we're lucky, it will be over. But, at the end of the day, you just let the hand sanitizer be for people who need it. Because you don't. You really don't. If you're quarantined at home, it's not going to help you. Same with toilet paper. That's another whole thing I'm not going to get into.
I mean, I'll touch lightly on it. What I find amazing, and you can testify to this because it's happened at the store, is everybody has gone out and bought toilet paper. Nobody has bought tissue, at all. At all. And that's what blows my mind, is this is a disease that is sneezing and coughing. It's all respiratory. It's not in your gut. But you're buying toilet paper and not even considering tissue. I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't understand the thought in the general public.
I'm gonna try to make sense of it right now, but note that this is straight up madness, and I'm gonna lean into it. The idea is that when you want the essentials, you're gonna be home. you're going to be stuck. You don't want to go, you want to don't make any unnecessary trips out. So you got to get the basics. So here's the things where I would see is the rational part. You go get the things you're going to need, like, for me personally, garbage bags, absolutely necessary. Paper towels, which another thing at our store we're not out of. We still have a bunch of people look at it like, no toilet paper, and there's all these paper towels. What am I supposed to do with these? That's way more important to me.
Yeah.
Is paper towels. That's actually crucial. Medical things like Band-Aids.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's getting those. Those are the things I would say are crucial besides food. I'm not going to get into food because that's happening with food and that's understandable.
Yeah.
But, like, water. Water's a big one.
Yeah.
And yes, we have running water. It's not in the water system, so you can drink from the tap. I know a lot of people who don't. My parents don't.
I personally don't. Like, I know you do, but I don't, just because I'm like you. I have a glass taste bud, and I cannot stand the taste of
honestly
tap water.
The taste of the water here isn't bad. When I lived on Long Island, like, it ranged from being like crystal clear, clean, beautiful water to, I don't know what they put in it this week, but it's not very good. But I can drink out of the sink and be fine with it. But, like, these are the things I would get. Yeah. Toilet paper makes sense on the stance of you need it. You need toilet paper. So you gotta get it. But the extent, this is where the madness comes in, I'm gonna try to make sense of. So many people have gone out and got loads of toilet paper. Like, excessive. Like, I have right now maybe 6 rolls of toilet paper in my bathroom. That will last me a month right now. That will be like a solid month. And I have like all you guys over, and we do D&D and everything. And like, I have a bunch of people coming in and out. That will still last me more than a month. Like, more. And I even have a whole thing downstairs of extra that I got just in case. And it's not even like a big case of it. It's a small whatever case. And I only got that because everyone panicked. I'm like, I at least got to get something on the off chance that this gets worse. And I got one thing. And that was it. Yeah. You can call me a panic buyer, but I got the one thing when I had the chance, and it was only one thing. I see people who come in and they want 6 entire cases of it. And it's like, we don't even have any. Yeah.
And that's the big thing too. And another thing, just kind of while we're talking on random PSAs, I mean, I know we don't have a huge audience, but I actually saw on Instagram, Heavy D from Diesel Brothers posted this. But, you know, if you're buying food and you see, you know, the EBT marked products and you can get something else, please do. Because there are people that cannot afford to buy the food they need, and they may need it for their kids. And that's their only option. And everybody's running out and buying these, you know, items that this is all they can get. And they don't have anything to feed their kids now. So, you know, I did kind of see that, and it's something I didn't think about. But it does make a lot of sense. So, just kind of while we're talking on random PSAs.
I mean, I guess I know it's our first ever episode. Hi, guys, from the future who came back to watch how it all started. Yeah, we are that terrible. Yeah. But for all the people who accidentally stumbled onto this video while you're stuck at home, welcome. Enjoy. Stay with us for a while. Trust me. It's about to get a lot rantier later. Don't worry about it.
No, we're just kind of going back and forth talking. This is a normal conversation for us.
Yeah, this is just we want to keep like, I'm gonna go change gears a little bit and be like, this is how we kind of want to run our podcast. Is just a simple conversation, something nice, and then we have planned for you guys a topic that we've chosen in advance. We've done, in this case, not much, but we've done a little bit of research. I mean, Chris did way more research than I did. Like, a lot more.
I've been following these things for a while, too. So, I mean, it's less research and just kind of, you know, I've kind of been watching them as they've come out.
That's research to me. As long as you preface it with this is how you got the information. Yeah. That's research enough for me. My thing is, I watch maybe a couple of videos and I've seen the memes. I'm on the other end of the spectrum on that conversation. We'll get there. But that's how we want to structure it. And at the end, we'll come up with whatever. I like to be transparent about these things. That's how we want to run it. If you guys have suggestions or comments or anything, please leave them down below in the little comment thing. Plug.
Comment section, sir. And we, just to kind of throw this out, if we kind of seem like we're stumbling around a little bit at first here, we went into this literally with half an hour of research and absolutely no game plan. And just said, well, let's just kind of jump in. Yeah, we kind of have a rough sketch, but it's stick figures, not characters, and we're just kind of like, let's see how it goes. So
loosey-goosey.
Yeah, this is just kind of, like I said, informal talking.
And, but back onto the pandemic at hand. I recently, I know I posted in the Discord for everyone to see. I'm not sure how many people have actually seen it, but
I don't follow Discord as much as I should.
I basically posted a video that's a long series from Extra Credits. Not sponsored, but I throw them out there because they do good work on their history stuff. They talked about the 1918 flu pandemic that existed during the First World War, and the parallels are insane. The only difference is that for the most part we're taking a lot better because we have the tools already. Like they didn't have any of the tools then. Now we have the tools to deal with it, but we're seeing the same kind of spreading. Like almost exactly the same minus a war.
Right.
And that's because nowadays we have the means to travel. So instead of a war being what spreads the disease, because now all the troops are on the trains and on the boats heading to the trenches, it's now people spreading out to experience the world and travel. Because now travel is so easy to do for the most part. I know a lot of people will be like, it's not that easy to spend. Like, ignoring the expense, if you had the money, which isn't that hard to get up to, trust me.
No, it's really not.
If you decide, you put your heart set on going somewhere, you can build that money easily.
I mean, or just do what I did in 20 minutes. I had a loan. Just to be brutally honest, it's not that hard, and it's not a high interest loan either. I'm paying $50 every couple of weeks, and on the entire loan, I've got less than 10% interest.
Exactly.
So I mean, it's really not that hard to get the money out. But no, I mean, you're right. It's
not even think about the consequences, just the money.
Yeah, just kind of being brutally honest, the money's not really what we're talking about here. But as far as traveling, it is so easy to travel now. As far as actually doing it, I mean, back then you had to get on a boat for 2-3 months, pray you didn't die at sea.
Not at that point. We're talking about First World War.
But I mean, it still took a long time, and you still had to pray that a U-boat didn't take you out. Yeah, air travel was not really a thing. Yeah, it
just started in the First World War.
Yeah,
not commercial.
Yeah, no, this was military only. So. Yeah, it's so much easier to travel now, and I think that's the other thing too. And I mean, even was it Florida? Everybody was spring breaking in Florida.
I mean, which Florida, was Mexico, literally anywhere south of the border.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's crazy. I get it. It's not something we see as a huge deal right now, but it's the things like that. Like if everybody just kind of does what you're supposed to for the next few weeks. Bunker down, only go out if you absolutely have to. It'll help a lot.
I mean, I'm not even against people breaking quarantine to go out as long as they're responsible about it. Like I said, you're here at my house.
Yeah.
We know, first off, my parents got checked, so I know just vicariously through them, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Even with all the coughing, because I've been coughing for 3 weeks. And they got tested a few days ago.
For a while.
So.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like I said, it's just being smart about it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't take unnecessary risks, but going to someone's, it's not like it's airborne. Go outside, enjoy outside. Just don't touch people.
Yeah, don't go to a beach with 300 other people.
Well, I mean, don't go out. You can sit outside. You can go in a car and drive, windows up if you absolutely need to. You can go and do those types of things. I'm going to be straightforward. I'm not saying everyone should be doing this right now.
Yeah, no.
I'm saying that if your quarantine is basically, hey, can you guys stay at home? quarantine level. I'm not talking about like New York City level where you can't. You gotta stay inside.
Well, I mean, New York City, if you like walk 2 feet, I guarantee you're gonna run into somebody. So you know that.
Exactly.
You live there.
So that's why I said New York City level, stay inside. But Long Island,
we're in absolute middle. Well, not the middle of nowhere, but I mean, we're in small town USA.
We're in We're in a new suburbia.
Yeah. So I mean, we're pretty isolated from the big cities.
Like I said,
to a reasonable degree.
This is pretty much like Long Island, where we are at. Where we are at, everything's kind of close by. It's not super close, but everything's close by. There's a very large population, but the thing is, we all have so much space to like enjoy personally.
Yeah.
Like even on Long Island where I lived, everyone was cramped in, but I still had my own I had a front yard, I had a backyard, I had a fairly big backyard.
Yeah.
I had not compared to what you see here.
Yeah.
You would look at my yard and be like, that's all you had? But for me, that was pretty big. I knew people had backyards that didn't go out as far as mine. I had a whole extra house in my backyard.
Yeah.
And then like we had space. I could walk from one end of my yard to the other and not touch anyone else's property.
Yeah.
And it was long enough that wasn't a big deal. But if you're in the city, you touch your wall, you're like 2 inches away from the next person's property.
Yeah.
Like that's too close.
It's close, yeah.
Stay inside. But if you're in a place like us where it's suburbia, you can sit outside. You can go outside and sit on your chair. Corona ain't gonna get you. Ain't gonna bite you.
Yeah, I mean like I said, I feel like people are overreacting, but at the same time, be smart. It's such a weird statement to make, but be smart, but don't freak out. Yeah,
there's a very thin line that we have to walk, where a lot of people are like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to feel like I'm being a panicker, but at the same time, I don't want to downplay the corona, and that's fair. That's a fair stance to have, because I don't want to feel like a panicker when I buy toilet paper because I actually need it. But at the same time, I understand that, I'm also kind of getting it because just in case I need it. As Nate recently found out, sometimes you should go with the panic buyers and at least pick something up because he waited too late and he had to go running for toilet paper because he actually needed it.
Yeah.
But the problem is that no one ever wants to be considered to be wrong, so they don't want to take that stance of like either going full on quarantine or being like, oh, I can go anywhere else. I'm not going to let this affect my life.
It's such a weird line. And to kind of like take a couple steps back here and keep in mind, this is literally just a quick Google search of the population of our town in 2019. There were 19,791 people. So definitely not like, middle of nowhere, but at the same time, we're spread out over, is it 3 zip codes?
Yeah.
So there's literally 3 zip codes, two that are definite. The third one's kind of a yes and no.
Some places use it, some places don't. It's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation. But I mean, 2 to 3 zip codes for 19,000 people, it's really not that big. Like, or it's not tight. Yeah, it's big. It's not tight. Yeah, is the word I'm looking for.
Man, I couldn't even fathom the numbers of where I lived. Because it was okay. So here, if I decide to travel to the next town over, that's a good trip. That's maybe 15 minutes of driving to get to the next.
That's to the
town.
The closest.
When I lived on Long Island, it took me 5 minutes to get to the next town. Yeah. Literally 5 minutes. Actually, you know what? Even better. I lived, and because I don't live there anymore, I lived in Huntington Station on the North Shore of Long Island. I could go through 3 towns in 10 minutes. Easy.
That's insane.
Yeah, because it's like Huntington Station, Dix Hills. Now I gotta remember all the towns down the way. I can go the other direction, I guess. I can get to Farmingdale in 20 minutes on a good day. And that's like 12 towns I gotta go through.
Yeah.
And that's nothing. And that's not even taking a highway. That's straight up going down Route 110.
Yeah.
And I'll hit every town down the way, no problem. And I used to deliver bread, and we delivered to like 7 different towns every day. And to get to those towns, I would go through at least 20 towns.
Yeah.
Townships. Not even talking about just major cities with major areas with small areas in it. I'm talking about all those small areas, which are their own townships. I lived that close, and we weren't even that tightly packed in. But here, it's like, it's similar to Long Island, where, there's a lot of people, and everything's really close by, but I still have a very big backyard.
Yeah.
I still have, first off,
You
I'm
and
on
I
top of
could
the hill
easily,
so I can see.
Yeah, we could easily play a football game in your backyard.
Oh, yeah, well, no,
okay.
You want to roll down my hill?
Small, you get my point, though, size-wise. Now, my backyard's the same way, size-wise, but I mean, you're going to run into a fire pit, a shed, hopefully before too long a garage. Hint, hint, wink, wink, Dad.
Eventually I'll put a pool back there. It'll be nice.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll definitely hang out here a lot more than I already do.
Oh, yeah. No, I would love...
Which, I'm about to move my... I think I'm about to move my address over here. I might as well at this point.
I made my house a hangout place because I couldn't do it back on Long Island because my house was a piece of shit. So now it's like, I have a nice house with a lot of room.
You literally have 3 rooms.
Yeah.
And a bathroom. And your bedroom. Like, that's not even including your bedroom.
Yeah, bedroom, bathroom, the studio, which we're in, my loft, and my guest room. That's 5.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, excluding your bedroom, that's just like 3 rooms.
I'd have people hang out in my bedroom too, but it's a mess and gross, and like that's where I sit.
That's your
and
space.
Eat.
Yeah, that's your space.
That's where I sit and eat in my bed, and I don't think people want to deal with that.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I mean, to each their own.
Yeah, well,
I have my desk. I'm weird. I eat at my desk. I won't eat in my bed.
Yeah, well, I eat at my bed because my bed's up against my desk, and I eat at my desk. So I mean
you're not wrong. You also have like
lazy.
a lot bigger bed than I do. Like I've got a futon, so. Yeah,
if I could do everything from my bed, I would, because I'm lazy. I like to lie down in it and just be like, oh, just turn over. That's what I do. I'll be on the computer all night, and when I'm done, turn it off, turn over, fall asleep, done.
Yeah.
But it used to be worse in college. I had everything. I had literally my fridge up against my bed, and the desk, and my drawers for all my clothes. The only time I got up was to go take a shower and go, to the bathroom, and that was it.
And I mean, and what's really aggravating for me is the fact that you're half my size. And you're like 6 times lazier than I am, but you're half my size.
Well, the thing is, I don't eat like everyone else does. I pick and peck at food.
You're not wrong.
I can't eat a full meal. Like, I'll try, and some days I'll eat a whole meal. But okay, so here's a story. I don't know. Do you know if you're listening? This is a story about you. Basically, I would go to my friend Gino's house all the time, and his mom was great. She would make food for us. She would make dinners for us to have, and I'm like, oh, that's super nice. So we would go there, and once in a while we'd eat. So his mom would make these big Bubba burgers, and they're delicious. But the problem is, I don't eat that much, so I'll eat maybe half a burger and be done, and everyone else is eating 2.
Yeah,
2 of these fucking monster burgers, and I'm barely eating 1. My mom meets his mom at the grocery store, and she goes, "Does Ricky like my food?" He's like, "Oh no, it says that you do good, like it's good food." And he's like, "Yeah." She's like, "He never really finishes anything." And she goes like, "What are you making?" And my friend's mom goes like, "Oh, just burgers, like something simple like that." My mom just immediately goes, "How big are they?" And she goes like, oh, she used her hand to gesture how big it is. And I was like, yeah, no, he won't eat the whole thing. Like, we make small burgers in my house, and I don't even eat the whole thing of that. Yeah. Like, I get full easily.
And that's why I like when we, which I need to do with y'all if, we're not all quarantined and dying by the time summer really hits. Because, I mean, it's warm here, but,
It's hot. It's hot as balls.
I mean, it's hot, but we're still technically in spring. So, when it's 110 degrees and it cools off to like 70 at midnight, that's when we'll try to do this if we can get everybody together. But like when we do campfires and cookouts and stuff like that, I like doing that because, we'll just throw like 30 hot dogs on a grill and just, whatever you want to eat.
No, that's what I like doing.
Yeah, because, I mean, that way, you got the people that if they want to eat, they can eat. If you're, like in your situation where you don't eat a lot, that's cool. It's just kind of whatever everybody grabs. If you have something specific you want, you bring it. Yeah. Usually I say I provide the meat and the condiments and the bread. Everything else, if you want beans, you better bring them.
Yeah.
I'll even cook them, but you better bring them.
when I used to do things with my friends on Long Island, that's what we did. I built my so my friend bought his own fire pit, and I pretty much built it for him, and we spent a lot of summers just in his backyard. Just hey, we did s'mores and we did snacks. Yeah. We didn't really do like full on cookouts. And then my other friends started doing bonfire parties where that's what they would do. They would like one of my friends went to be a chef. Yeah. So he made some great steak off the grill, and that was fantastic. But just as good, another friend just made regular burgers. Yeah. And sometimes the fancy stuff isn't the best stuff. Yeah. And like it was good, don't get me wrong, it was really good steak. But like the simple burger is just, it's perfect when you have a bunch of people. Yeah. Everyone provides. I brought drinks, someone bought buns, and they brought the meat. Yeah. And you put it together, boom. It's just a good time. And I mean,
and I don't, because I'm usually the one running the grill. I don't want to spend the entire night grilling, just to be brutally honest.
No, I get that.
So again, that's where like if you want something fancy, you better bring it because I'm not gonna do it. I'll throw beans on the stove, but
well, I mean that's simple enough.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna sit there and cook a 20-course meal for people. Like, and I say that with all love. Like I do it because I want to hang out with you guys, not cook all night. But yeah, and something else I want to do, just kind of talking while we're talking. Yeah, I would definitely love to go to the lake with y'all.
Oh man. I have a quick story about that.
You have all kinds of stories, and I love it.
I've done a lot of things. I went in college. We decided one day that school food is great and all, but we have a big group of people. Right? Don't we just go out to the creek and we'll do a fire and we'll make steak burgers? And everyone's like, "Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, it's cool." So mistakes were made. We get out there not realizing how the creek is it's not as big as it was, which I think Colin planned, but yeah, we had to walk across it to get firewood. So yeah, some people were like panicking. I at the time did not give any shits. So I just walked across it. Yeah. Just straight up went, I'm just gonna walk across it on the lightest end. Yeah. To get stuff. We picked up a bunch of wood, and we saw that they had reeds. It's a lot of reeds. We were calling it bamboo because we're stupid. But we picked up all these reeds and brought it with us. And we're like, hey, I mean, we could put this in the fire, right? I know a lot of people, you're cringing out there, and you're not wrong to cringe. I'm cringing now just thinking about it. So we go back.
I kind of want to slap you. Not to interrupt, but I kind of want to slap you just right now.
No, fair enough. I basically we bring it up and we're like, okay, cool. So what are we having? Oh, we got steak burgers. So I'm gonna make them real spicy. And then some people are like, oh, well, can we have mild ones? Like, oh, I already planned for mild. No problem. Mistake number 2. We had no lights, just the fire. We didn't think of putting lights on. So we're cooking kind of in the half dark. So he's preparing everything and we're sitting around the fire and talking. We hear a couple of pops, and we're like, oh, well, the fire crackles, it pops, it's not a big deal. And then we get some bigger pops. That's when we realize the reeds are exploding inside the fire. Yep. The air pressure is popping them. And we thought it was entertaining at first until my friend Hudson gets a large pop in his face.
Yeah, that's always fun.
So on top of that, we're making the burgers. They get finished. He puts them on the buns and he has them on a plate. And he's like, okay, everyone, time to get it. So everyone starts grabbing them. And halfway through eating, I don't even remember who it was who said it, but someone turns around and goes, so, do you know which ones are the mild and which ones are the spicy? No. No one knew. And everyone was eating them. And so I came and be like, I got the spicy one, I wanted the spicy one. I shouldn't have taken it. They were so spicy, it burned the mouth, like, completely. Like, It was hotter than I expected, and I wasn't really eating ghost pepper at the time, so, like, I don't usually eat that kind of spicy.
The fact that you eat ghost peppers
Well, I don't eat ghost pepper, but I have the ghost pepper sauce. Okay, with the dry heat rub, because I'm insane. Yeah. But I didn't really care for hot sauce, really. So at the time, I'm like, I like a little spice. Yeah. And he told me, oh, it's like a buffalo chicken patty. It's not that spicy, but it's got a kick, and I ate it, and my mouth is burning. So, yeah, we ate all the bread to attempt to cool us down. We had no milk. We first went to get milk. No one brought milk. No one thought it was going to be that spicy. So we're downing water until we had nothing left in soda. And it's not that long to get back to campus, but we're in the middle of nowhere, kind of. So we pack it up, we go. I sat in my room drinking water the entire night because I had no milk, and there was nowhere to get milk in my college at 2 a.m. So basically, I sat there doing the worst possible thing I could be doing. Mistake number 3. I downed like 3 bottles of water at once just to try to cool my mouth.
You don't need to finish this story. I already know where it's going.
Oh no, that's pretty much the end.
Okay.
I
thought it was
going
towards my I thought it was going towards my my fireball story.
And this is the 4th. No.
Yeah, no. The night that our truck got wrecked, I downed, I'd say conservatively a third of a bottle of Fireball, but it was probably more like 2/3.
Oh.
And I didn't like sip it, like I was chugging. Which, by the way, first time I ever got seriously drunk, and mistakes were made, regrets were had. The next morning was not fun, and my dad was just laughing at me the entire time, which is the appropriate response, might I add. Like, if you're going to be stupid, you better be ready to have somebody laugh at you. Which kind of reminds me, I don't know if anybody here knows of him, but there's a comedian named Josh Wolf. And one of the greatest lines I've ever heard him say is, you can tell how drunk somebody is by what foods they're mixing. If you're mixing chips and salsa, you're not that drunk. His son was dipping chicken in peanut butter.
You're drunk.
And whispering to himself, I think this is how they made Reese's. So I will always remember that, probably till the day I die. It's amazing. And, needless to say, his son had a similar experience to me, and his dad had the exact same reaction as mine, to which was just laughing at him the entire night as he's puking repeatedly. And then I had to go to work. So that was fun. Yeah, no, like going to work hammered is, or not hammered, but hungover is fun.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. I don't drink like that anymore. That was, I think, the last time I drank like that I can remember. The first and last.
First and last.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to take a quick little break, and we'll be right back into our big topic.
All right, welcome back to Running Rogue with Ricky Rogue and Chris. Now we're going to get to our main subject, which is the one that I suggested just for this first one. And that is renewable energy vehicles, specifically trucks, because that's kind of where I'm interested in. Because you can make an electric car fairly easily and it be a good choice. Trucks is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
They have to be able to do truck things, just to kind of put a broad term on it. So we looked at a couple of them. Like I said, did very quick research. The first one that we want to talk about is the Cybertruck. And
finish the fight.
You have you have so many opinions on this. I'm going to let you take the floor on this one, just kind of at first. And just kind of start where you want. Like, I don't know if you want to start with a vehicle or if you just kind of
design, because you know where I'm going to start.
Yeah, or do you just kind of want to rip on Elon Musk for a minute? Because that's so easy to do.
I might end on that. I might end on the presentation that happened. God, I have things.
Dude, like that, I don't even think you really paid attention to the truck. You were more like, "This is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible."
Okay, so I'm gonna preface that Chris here is the car guy. He's the expert.
Strong word, yeah.
Strong word, but he knows way more than I ever will. It has four wheels and goes vroom. I call it a car, so there's my knowledge center for you guys.
And we're talking about electric vehicles, so that eliminates half of that equation.
I mean,
they no longer. Okay, you can do like the BMW i8 and make it so that as you drive it, it plays the sound of a V8 in your car, which is the most pathetic thing I've ever heard of. I am sorry, BMW. I love you. You make amazing cars. Why?
Fair.
I am down for an electric supercar. Bring me the electric supercar. Don't make it play V8 sounds. Like, I mean, you do something. I don't care. Don't make it play V8 sounds. That's just so try hard.
So let me. After going through that, I'm not a car guy, so I'm gonna explain what on a design level for a normal consumer who decides they want to look at trucks. And they're looking at all the different trucks that are out there, and you see the Cybertruck. And I feel like I'm back in 2003, and Halo 2's coming out, and I'm super, super duper excited for it.
Except it's in 8-bit.
It's a low poly car from an early PlayStation 2 game, and I look at it and think, yeah, no, that's cool to have for like 10 seconds. It would be fun to drive around just to get the reaction and then throw it away and get something that actually works.
Okay, going right into it.
Yeah, but the thing with the car is that it's trying to be very futuristic, but it's very futuristic from a view 20 years ago, and it just doesn't seem very futuristic to us because we've already seen. We basically changed our perception of what the future is. So Elon Musk is like, okay, we got all these very straight lines. I'm like, yes, that's very futuristic. What are we gonna contrast these lines with? Nothing. It's just straight lines. It's polygons. We're going back to basics here.
Yeah, and like, okay, so in touching on the design, because the claim from Tesla is that the material they went with for strength purposes cannot be like rolled, so they can't really make curves.
Mm-hmm.
Even still, it's such a terrible design. I don't know what else to say about it. Like, it's just it is not visually appealing. It looks weird.
Like, if you're gonna go angular, at least add a few more angles to make it look rounded. Like, you could do like with the back end is like a just big slant. Yeah. I'm gonna put a picture, boom, right here, so you can see what I'm talking about. So the back end slanted. Just put a little like cut on like the maybe the more top midsection and have it come down a bit and then curve out or flatten out. That would look slightly better. It would have been a little more angular. You would have still had your angular futuristic whatever design, but it would seem like there's more of the back of the pickup, and it would look a little more appealing. Not just because it looks like a pickup, but because now there's a little more to it. If I want to drive a cardboard box because I'm 12 and I just want to... Well, 12 is saying a lot. I'm 8 years old. I'm in a box and I'm pretending to be a race car driver. That's the car I would sit in at the arcade and pretend I'm a race car driver. That is not the car I want to get in as a 28-year-old and cruise around. And I'm of the opinion that it's not about the way the car looks. It's about what you're pumping out of it. This car, I would get in it and feel embarrassed.
Yeah. And just to kind of preface this too, we are also looking at top level trucks. Yeah. So we're not looking at the cheap version that Tesla has, or the other trucks we discuss here. We're looking at the top tier as far as price tag.
Yeah.
The Tesla Cybertruck on the top level, the all-wheel drive, I think it was tri-motor.
Yes.
Was just under 70,000.
It was like 39,000?
No, that was the bottom. That was the
that's
rear
the bottom?
wheel. Yeah, no, the top level was almost 70, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, it was 70,000. And looking at this as a consumer / car guy, because I do care about how my vehicle looks. I'm just that guy. From a consumer standpoint, looking at a $70,000 electric truck that kind of does what it's supposed to do, I can take that $70,000 and go buy a brand new Chevy Silverado that's diesel and drive it much further, pull much more, have a much more usable truck, and a much better looking truck. So it kind of undermines their concept of trying to create a sustainable vehicle. Because I'm like you, I do realize, yes, something needs to be done, but at the same time, it has to be done in a practical manner.
Pisses me more off is the fact they bring out that ATV, and that's even
yeah,
better.
No,
design.
like
It looks fucking sick.
It looks like they spent all their time with the ATV, and they're like, you know what we should do? We should have a truck to pull this. And they spent they got high. They spent 5 minutes. They took a bullet point of, okay, what would make the baddest truck on the road? And then, like I said, they were high. They drew a weird shape, and they were like, okay, let's put this into production. I feel like that was the design process.
It's like they gave it to a game designer and said, I want you to make something weird and futuristic. Okay, cool. And they drew it out, and they're like, cool. So what kind of game is this? Oh, what? No, we're just going to make this into an actual car. And it's like, wait, guys, don't do that. No, it's not meant to be that.
Yeah. Okay, does anybody remember the first Apple Mouse?
Yes.
I think he was using one of those and said, I should put wheels on this. I think that's how he designs most of their cars. Because just kind of on a side note, just Tesla in general, I don't like any car they have at all from an aesthetic standpoint. Their sedans, they look like, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're these, they're like these things they take and they're kind of in the shape of a car, but they have no detail on them. And they'll take a paint and they'll spray it on this object so you can see the different way it reflects light and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you'll know this is roughly how it's going to look on your car. It looks like they took one of those and they added wheels and windows, and that's it. Because there's no grill, there's no body lines in them. They're ugly, in my opinion. A lot of people are like, oh, you just hate electric vehicles. I was like, there's Audis that are electric that are beautiful. I would definitely buy one, but
yeah, it's nothing against the mode of fuel. It's the idea that if you're going to design a car, it should, or in this case a truck, it doesn't necessarily need to look like a traditional truck, but it should look good enough that if I step into it, I like the DeLorean. I like the way it looks. It's futuristic, it's cool, it's different. I wouldn't say it's the most beautiful car. No, but it's cool.
But it also came out in the 80s.
Yeah. So that's a really cool futuristic looking car. Note that, yes, it's got angular angles. I'm going to put, boom, DeLorean right here. It's angular. Surprisingly similar to the other truck. But it has detail. Yeah. It's got such detail work that it makes it look not only futuristic, but it looks good. And all those details give it a personality.
Exactly.
This looks like it just got shat out by, the corporation off the line. There it is. It's just one solid chunk of metal. Yeah. Here we go.
And I'm just going to bash on Tesla for a little bit.
Go ahead.
Sue me. Elon Musk, I dare you. Can't get blood from a turnip, but no.
Last episode.
And dead. No. But no, what scares me, and correct me if I'm wrong, are they not trying to commercialize space travel?
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you're taking a company that can't be bothered to design a good-looking vehicle that does what it's supposed to do. This thing failed on multiple levels just during the prototype phase, and you're talking about commercializing space travel. That's kind of scary to me. I'm just kind of pointing out the obvious thoughts of you have somebody who smokes weed, can't write a script, can't go off of a script, can't put a presentation together, cannot design a good vehicle, and you're talking about, oh yeah, no, it's totally safe to get in this rocket ship and be blasted into the void.
I mean, nothing that's safe to begin with, so let's start there.
But you get my point. At least if NASA put together a program, I would have some faith that more than likely we've learned something from Challenger.
I was about to say.
More than likely, we have learned something, and they're going to apply that to safely blast humans into the void. Let me back
as
that
safe as that sentence could be.
As safely as that could be. That's kind of like the Isle of Man TT, another kind of off-topic rant. But it is a motorcycle race on this island where they hit like 300 miles per hour. So I think every year somebody dies. At least one person dies. As safe as that can be, they try to make it safe.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all.
I get
like
that.
There are safety procedures in place. Same concept here. If NASA were to do it, even if the Russian space program were to do it, I would feel somewhat safe being blasted into the void. Mm-hmm. As safe as one could feel. But, if something had Tesla on the side of it, I don't know that I would get in that rocket ship. Just because I've seen how they design their vehicles and they can't line body panels up or paint them or design them or put a presentation together.
So
again.
You touched on it again, and I am now ready to go blast on that fucking presentation.
I am going to unloose the binds and just let you take the floor for the next 30 minutes.
Crack knuckles. Here we go. So, you have this futuristic thing. You have this girl, this like robot cyber girl, which you couldn't choose between the two. They tried to put them together into this very half-assed, whatever.
Yeah, I got very Detroit Become Human vibes.
Yeah, but not good.
But Detroit Become Human with a quarter of the budget.
Yeah.
Which I think that was already a low-budget game, but beside the point.
But they decided to bring her in. And they have to introduce, like, the future, it's fluid, whatever, but here's an alternative. And I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to lean into this. That's fine. That sounds really good. How are we going to go about this? Oh, just Elon Musk stumbling around and not reading off a script. Like, I really hope he wasn't reading off a script. Oh, my God, I hope he wasn't
If that was reading off of a script.
If that was scripted. Oh, my God. Who wrote that? But no, like it looked
probably the same guy who designed the truck.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sorry for interrupting, but just kind of calling it as I see it. No, and what else is bad is like, okay, so we had this kind of cool concept going on in the very beginning, and then never heard from again.
Especially when you have all the guys come out of the truck, and he's like, "Oh, these not steampunk, but these future punk people
steampunk.
coming in." Nah, it's more future punk.
Yeah, cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. It's cyberpunk people coming out, and I'm like, they just get out of the car. No flash, no panache, just they get out and they walk away, and they'll be back. They'll be back to help test things, and they don't even play a character. And I'm like, look, guys, you really push this idea of this is the future and everything. Lean off of that. Maybe have the girl from the beginning have a dialogue with Elon, and Elon like walks in and is like, hey, like this is what we're doing. She would either ask the questions or she would be like, this is a thing that exists in the future. How are you going to deal with it with this truck? And then he would answer. And I'm like, yeah, even if the answers are stupid, it doesn't matter. That's a cool presentation. Having the people come out of the truck. Like, maybe, like, clearly, he made a joke about California. Like, I would say they'd come out with futuristic weapons and everything.
Oh, yeah. No, that would have been amazing.
That would have been cool.
If they could have played the theatrics so well.
Yeah.
And I even talked about this, but going back to when they unveiled the Dodge Demon, because I watched that entire thing because it was pretty awesome. The theatrics, and it was just done so well. But they had like this cage that had these screens kind of in between it. So, obviously you can't see through them, but it had like this metalistic Hellcat looking thing because that's what came before the Demon. And it busted the tube of nitro fuel that was supposed to feed it in very small amounts and just started guzzling this nitro and then turned into a demon. And then they rolled the car out. They had like the lights and sirens going. They had the smoke everywhere. Vin Diesel even came out and had a part of it because he's been working with Dodge for a long time. It's just the theatrics and the presentation was done so well, and it went like without a problem.
Yeah.
Because it was rehearsed. I feel like this was something... It almost felt like you were watching a elementary school play.
Oh, God. It's so accurate.
That's the best I can come up with.
Especially after they shattered the windows and he kept looking back at it.
Oh, yeah, no, like, dude, that, and honestly, I died laughing when I watched that, because I watched that a couple days after they did it, because, I mean, I don't care about Tesla that much.
Yeah.
So I definitely wasn't watching it live. I have better things to do with my life. But, you know, I was laying in bed one night trying to fall asleep, and I watched it. And it was so funny. Like, just to see the look of, well, this is ruined. I mean, like that, and the funny part is that's what ruined it in his mind.
But that would have been great if he said that. Lean into it.
Lean into it. I mean, the dude's not an actor. Okay, I'm just gonna say this: Tesla is an amazing technology company. They're not a car company, and I really wish they would stop trying to be a car company.
Yeah.
If Tesla took their ideas and they went to somebody like GM or Ford or Toyota or somebody and said, hey, we have the tech, we have the ideas, we need a good platform, and they partnered with somebody, I guarantee you it would be an amazing car.
Yeah.
But he's tried to create this car company that, honestly, in my opinion, has failed. Like, you have some people that are diehard Tesla fans, but most of them are not car guys. Like, that's something I've just kind of consistently noticed. Like, the car guy in us just dies.
Hot take, same with Apple people. They say they're computer guys.
I mean, look, I have an Apple. I know this, but I'm not a diehard Apple fan. I like my iPhone because it does what I need it to do, and it was cheaper than Samsung with my company.
This is a rant I'll get on later. But
yeah, no, we'll hit the Apple subject later. But no, like,
that's
just to kind of briefly touching on that, price played 99.9% of my decision.
Yeah.
$10 a month is $10 a month. So,
but I only bring it up because it's a good comparison to Tesla.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, most of the people that are diehard Tesla fans are not car guys. I need to mute my phone because I am professional. It's kind of like the guys who are professional gamers that don't charge their controllers. I mean, Polecat, I'm looking at you.
That's hard work.
Yeah, I know. Plugging something in, how could you be bothered? Just like me. I mean, flipping a switch on the side of my phone. I don't even have to go into my settings. I just have to flip a switch on the side of my phone. It's too much work.
But like I said, it's similar to Apple. Tesla's all about the name brand, and about being of this higher stature. And you could tell with their thing that they were so high and mighty. Like, we don't need to script it out. Everyone's just gonna love it. By existing.
Yeah, by Tesla.
It's Tesla, and Elon Musk himself is here, and he's interested, like, just like Steve Jobs. Yeah. But he's stumbling on every word, and he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. No, this is going to be a really good comparison to this, just out of curiosity. Just a little experiment here. Do you know Maserati?
It has four wheels and goes vroom.
You know of Maserati.
I know of them, yes.
Okay, when I say Maserati, what comes to mind?
It has four wheels and goes vroom. I'm not even joking. Okay. It's a car.
Okay. Most people will tell you, oh yeah, it's this like fancy, Maserati. It's Italian. It's made by Dodge. Like, it's a glorified Dodge. And I feel like that's the thing that you get with Tesla. Like, you have people that, oh yeah, I'll go out and I'll buy this, overly priced Dodge because it has an Italian name. Or I'm going to go buy this hunk of metal that they called a truck because it says Tesla on it. I feel like it's the exact same group of people.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, it's people who like that. Like, I'll be straightforward. I'm an AMD fanboy. But I also am very realistic on the fact that, yeah, AMD does great stuff. I love what they do. Not everything is perfect, and I'm just willing to accept that.
Right.
People won't accept that Tesla has faults and will try to back it up with shit like, statistics, and they'll be like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, well, my 0 to 60 is faster than yours. And I'm like, yeah, that may be, but, your 0 to 60 doesn't matter when I'm running 170 miles an hour for miles, and you have to stop and charge for 20 minutes. Where I can hit a gas station in 3 minutes, refuel, and go. So, that, I don't know. Like I said, it's just kind of, yes, they have cool stats. Yes, electric vehicles are cool. No, I don't like Tesla.
Yeah.
I don't like Elon Musk. That's probably 90% of my hatred for Tesla. I might be able to look past some of the other stuff if it wasn't for Elon Musk. I just don't like the guy. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like those people that, there's nothing wrong with them, but they talk and you just instantly hate them.
Yeah.
It's just something in their voice. I don't know.
It's just the way it's in the way that they move. It's in their character. I can't think of the words I want to get out for that, but it's in how they act. I guess there's like a cockiness to him it feels undeserved, even though yes, he's a billionaire and he's probably way more intelligent than I could ever give him credit for.
I wouldn't say that, but he does have an intelligent team. But
well, no, he has his own intelligence for getting things going. Just because he doesn't go into the nitty gritty doesn't mean he doesn't have an intelligence for business.
You're
or
not
that.
wrong.
But it's the idea that when you get to that level, and instead of being, I don't want to say humble, but I'm saying being a little more straight up about it. Like I said, the presentation the whole time, where he's just trying to write everything off. Like, no, I would give him so much respect if he leaned into it and go, prototypes, man.
Yeah.
It happens. And, and he just went like, yeah, no, clearly. And he's like, well, this is what the glass is supposed to do. And clearly we got more work to do. Instead, he tries to like bypass it. But it's really hard to do that when he keeps looking at it.
He makes a brief statement of, there's room for improvement. But, I get that, but
it's not
address the issue.
Yeah, that's not leaning into it. That's dusting it off.
And then just kind of while we're bashing on Tesla, because this is what this has turned into. I know we were trying to do so our intention with this was to play devil's advocate, but I feel like Tesla's just such an easily hated company that it's hard to.
I mean, I've done enough devil's advocate. I've defended him enough. I'm just saying sometimes it's good to rant.
Yeah. But even the test they did where they did the tug of war with the F-150, I laughed so hard at that because I guarantee you the Cybertruck has weight on that truck. It has torque on that truck. Because the numbers they're claiming, they should have hooked it up to an F2 or F350, one of the heavy duty trucks. And then they picked a not only half-ton truck, but a two-wheel drive. So, and you can see it when they pull it. The Tesla Cybertruck was all-wheel drive. All four wheels were pulling. The Ford, only the back two were pulling. So that's kind of like if you, go and you tie a rope around your waist and my waist, and I'm just sitting there moving my back legs and you're crawling with all fours. Yeah. I guarantee you're going to pull me.
Yeah.
That's just common sense. Everything else aside. And then on top of I don't know. I just feel like it was such... I felt like I was trying to, again, watch a elementary presentation of a magic show. Yeah. Is what it felt like. And it's just so obviously weighted that it just kind of... It devalues everything else.
And I was on the side where I'm taking at face value, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to accept that everything you're showing me is 100% legit, and you're not waiting anything. You're not... when they did the glass thing, you were very skeptical about it, about how they kept adjusting it. Maybe there's something wrong. But I'm like, understandably, they probably adjust it because every time you drop, the weight shifts and the clamps are probably need to be switched. And I get that. That's fine. But it's the idea that that's one piece of glass held by clamps on a special apparatus. When they got to the car itself, I don't think they planned on shattering those windows on the car. I think that Elon Musk just thought, my car is perfect. Let's just do it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
That's why I liked when the guy kept shouting, "Shoot it!"
No, that was amazing.
He knew.
This guy knew. And honestly, I kind of thinking back on that now, I guarantee you the guy who kept yelling that probably knew for a fact, dude, you put a 9mm into the side of this truck, I guarantee you it's going to go through.
Yeah.
I would not even question that. I guarantee you it goes through. I'd really love to take something I have and, attack it. But no, I'm going to cut it like Swiss cheese. And no, it's not a big gun. It's very, very small.
But I feel like when he says, "Oh, we shot with a 9mm," from what? How far away?
Yeah.
Really far? Almost a mile away? Is that when you shot it?
And a 9mm is not a big bullet either. It's a very... Okay, so they're not meant to punch. They're meant to...
Penetrate.
No, they're meant to punch, not penetrate.
Okay.
Is what I'm trying to say. They're very knockdown power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a very good bullet to go through metal. you would want something smaller, like a 223 that goes a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have near the damage. They only put like a pin-sized hole in the metal, but it goes through.
Yeah.
Versus the 9mm, which, it's a much slower round, but it hits harder, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I get
so, that. Like, it put a bigger dent, but it doesn't necessarily have the power to go through.
Which is fair.
Versus, like I said, a 223 or, something of that nature, a smaller rifle round would probably go straight through it. So, and I think it's funny that they call it bulletproof. I'm like, you shot one round at it. Or one type of round, not one round.
That's
Let me correct myself. Yeah, no, you shot a very low caliber pistol at it. Like, that's not bulletproof. Maybe if you're rolling through, the bad side of Indy at 2 o'clock in the morning, it might be considered bulletproof. Maybe, if you're lucky.
Well, like when you say bulletproof, like I want to know specifics. Like 9mm, one shot into it. That's not bulletproof. That's not even 9mm proof. It's basically saying we shot one thing at it and called it a day. Like, no,
yeah.
I want to see extensive testing. I want you to show me that not only did you do this multiple times, but you did it in multiple angles with different things. Then I'll say yes, that is 9mm proof. Do it with every type of ammo you can, even most of it. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You do most of the most common ammunition. And then I will give you the idea that you say, yeah, that's bulletproof or bullet resistant. Yeah.
Now, something else I want to point out too, and one video I really would like to show you is there's a YouTube channel out there. Big shout out to him. He's awesome. Demolition Ranch. Mm-hmm. Not even coming at it from like the gun standpoint, but just coming at it from the science of what he does. Is he'll take, like, he got bulletproof glass, and he started with a 9mm and kept stepping up, and with that one, it kept, like, spidering the glass, so he actually had to jump up a lot faster than he wanted to. Yeah. But he went from 9mm all the way up to 50 caliber, which is designed to crack engine blocks. Yeah. And actually, I think it stopped one of the 50 calibers. Wow. Like, one of the standard 50 calibers it stopped. Which was impressive. I'm not even going to lie. Like, that's tough. But you're also talking about something that was, 5 inches thick, where this stuff that Tesla's using is a quarter, if not an eighth of an inch thick. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't even say it's a quarter. It's probably like an eighth of an inch thick. And I'm sitting there like, there's no way that that's actually bulletproof.
I do like the fact that it did have the when he hit it, it did shake. Which shows that it definitely, like, when they built it, they definitely knew their mechanics of, and I know you disagree on it, but I think that the fact that it wiggles is a lot better than it being sturdy and collapsing in, because I don't expect anything being hit to stay solid. It's gonna dent in some way, and this car wiggles and warps, which, for the most part, on a single hit, would be a little safer. But if you go into a turn, the car turns over and it starts spinning, then you're going to have problems.
Here's the other thing that I'm concerned about with that. Like, I don't know if you've seen the new requirements for crash safety on trucks.
I wouldn't know.
But if you watch, like, the Ford, Dodge, Chevy, there's a video where it compares all three of the crash test videos. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them, the door will pop out at the top. Yeah. Like, it is specifically designed to open up at the top.
It's a release valve.
Well, not so much that. It's so that if you get into a situation where that door jams and they have to, like, remove the door, it gives them a starting point to work with. Whereas before, they had to take the time to get something in and pry into it. Now they have something to actually take the jaws of life, which that's an amazing piece of machinery I want to play with. But I just want to see what I can do with it. But no, like, they can actually take that in, stick that in that area now, and just immediately open that door up. And it cuts down so much on time. So I'm sitting there going, there's, with what they have designed, I don't know how they plan on getting it through crash testing. Because what they have designed is a solid piece of metal, for lack of better words. Yeah. And that's not good. Like, you don't want something solid. Like I said, you see it as rigidity. I'm sitting there going, but if I'm hit at 45 miles an hour in a T-bone and the side of my truck doesn't, to some degree, obviously you don't want it a lot, but to some degree absorb that impact by denting, then, where's all that force going? That 45 mile an hour impact, instead of like on the F-150 where it would hit in the side and the truck would cave in to a certain degree, that absorbs a lot of that impact. This thing's going to just basically pinball. And that's concerning, because now you have a 45 mile an hour impact that's being transferred to your body.
That's the thing, is like my theory of why it wouldn't be so bad, and is playing devil's advocate, because I agree, like, there would be another issue on top of that.
Yeah.
But the way it basically, because it wiggles and warps, the pressure would be put around the entire car. Yes, it would, I wouldn't say pinball, but it would definitely bounce. And yes, initially that sounds good, because instead of the force stopping you and you just kind of get impacted, instead it bounces you and you move over. The whole truck would then move. But the problem with that is that if this is the case, and instead of it being impacted, it bounces, you're going, let's say your horizontal velocity is going to be 0.
Right.
You're going straight forward in a straight line. Your horizontal velocity is 0, while your forward velocity is, let's say, 45 or 50 miles an hour. Car hits you from the side at 50 miles an hour and just T-bones you. Yeah. Your velocity going straight is definitely going to change. It might not drop immediately to 0, but your forward velocity is gonna go down. You're gonna see that change go from forward to horizontal. Right. And now your horizontal is going from 0 to 45. Right. That's whiplash. That's awful whiplash. And that's just assuming the car bounces over.
Now let's imagine, and God forbid this ever happens, which, again, in its current form, I don't know how they plan on getting it past crash testing and actually on the road. But, God forbid you had your kid in the backseat, like your baby in the backseat, where their necks aren't built to handle something like that. I mean, nobody's neck's built to handle that, but I mean, especially a baby.
A child's,
That's almost instant death. And I don't know. I don't see, and the fact that they went with a unibody, I drive a unibody car. I have a Trans Am, and I can tell you that it's not the most rigid thing on earth. It flexes a lot. They're good for racing, but that's about it, just because they're lightweight. And most of the time when you see full-bore race cars that are unibody, they have a tube chassis underneath that. Yeah. So there's a lot of rigidity added to it that a street car doesn't have. I just don't see how they actually plan on producing this. I feel like it was just our stocks are sliding, we're kind of slipping off the face of the earth. What's something that we can do to radically get attention? I feel like that's what the Cybertruck was.
I mean, vaporware exists. I can see it as a thing, but
or maybe like a utility construction vehicle. There, I could see it being practical.
Well,
like maybe on a mining site.
I mean, it could be practical if it didn't look so dumb. Like, I'm gonna say right now, if you want real practical, that truck would be slimmer. If that was the practical part, that truck would be slimmer, and it wouldn't have the back looking the way it does. I really feel like that's a throwback to the DeLorean, and completely missing the point of what made that car cool. Yeah. It's really, if it was going to be for actual practicality, it would be more boxed and slimmer, and it would have curve. It would 100% have curve, because the last thing you want is to take a square peg and stick it in a round hole. Exactly. Like, you're gonna want that to be rounder. Or if you're gonna have all those angles, you could have even more angles to give the illusion that it's smoother on those ends, like the DeLorean does. Right. Because the DeLorean is very, very angular, but it has it
has the curves in the right places.
Yeah, it has the implied curves in certain areas because there's enough detail work and enough areas where there's corners.
Right.
Um,
I don't know. Like I said, I feel like we've bashed on this thing for half an hour, but I mean, really, there's nothing good to say other than okay. I will give the Tesla Cybertruck one good aspect, and this is the only thing I can think of, is that if you took a bullet point for what makes a cool truck or a good truck, it definitely tried to hit each and every single one of those.
Yeah.
I feel like the execution was terrible. Again, I feel like it was just kind of a publicity, hey, how can we... And, I mean, on top of that, they had people that were holding spots just giving a free loan to Tesla. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
But there were literally people giving money to Tesla to hold their spot for a truck that was never really promised. Like, there is absolutely no promise that the Cybertruck's ever going to actually make it into production.
I have a feeling that the Cybertruck's going to go through the same thing that Sonic did for the movie. They're going to do a whole redesign, and they're probably going to bring someone in from a different company to do it.
If that, honestly. I feel, honestly, I don't see Tesla making it too much further. Because really all they have at this point now is just publicity.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just, and I'm no expert by any means, but when you look at their stocks, like, from the outside at least, it looks like they're losing so much money.
That's also on top of what's going on now.
Yeah, and that added to it. But I mean, like, they've been losing money for a long time. It's just when you don't have a product that backs up the price tag, you're gonna lose money.
And the thing is, Tesla's like one of those companies that plays in the negative.
Yep.
Like, Apple did it until more recently. Apple played in the negative. Microsoft plays in the negative. Nintendo struggled while playing in the negative. I think they finally got into the black. I'm not 100% sure, but I know that they've been playing in the red for the longest time. And that's just something companies do. Yeah. But Tesla seems, as far as I'm aware, seems to go through these points where they can get a quick breath before they go back under. Exactly. And that's a dangerous game. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know fully on the stocks. I've seen and I also don't think stocks equates to a good business. That's more fluctuations of buyers. Yeah. And that really doesn't mean anything about the business, as it does mean what the business is paying out, which, yes, can ruin a business economically. Yeah. But that's expected. Yeah. It's an expected loss you're going to deal with from time to time. Yeah. The only problem is once you go down, if you can't go back up, then it's a problem because you're expected to go down. You're going to go down. It's got to happen. It's just, I guess, the law of economics. What goes up must come down. Right. Look at South Sea Bubble. It's going to happen. But when it finally goes down, you got to be ready to bring it back up. And I can see where Tesla is like, we took the dip. We got to take our breath. This is how we're going to take our breath. We're going to introduce the truck. Yeah. And hopefully, just before the truck even is shown, people start investing. We catch our breath and let it ride. Yeah. And seeing, like you said, there is a certain strategy to that. General Motors is doing it right now with a new Corvette, because every Corvette before this one has been a front-engine sports car. Mm-hmm. And they have now left that platform completely and gone into the mid-engine supercar like the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris. They're playing with the big boys now. Every Corvette they sell is at a loss. They're not making money. They're losing money right now. But they're doing that because their concept was, okay, this is a big power move for us. Mm-hmm. And this is something that, knowing their base, which I hate this as much as anybody else, but, the base is primarily, midlife crisis. Yeah, I really hate that term, but yeah, midlife crisis. And 40, 50, 60, 70-year-olds who go play golf, to the point that the new Corvette actually has an option where you can get Corvette embroidered golf bags, which are actually really nice. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't play golf, but they're cool. And they have Corvette luggage too, that are like specifically designed to fit in the car. They really went over the top with it, but no, like, they know their audience. They knew that their audience was not going to like the idea initially. So what they decided to do was, okay, let's sell them at a loss.
so that, you have a few people that'll buy them. And then those people will be like, hey, this is actually a killer car. And then when we come out with the performance models, because the Corvette that's out, everybody wants to bash on the performance of it. It's like 400 horsepower. That's the base model.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't even announced what the new performance model is going to look like. And if it's what I think it's going to be insane. But, there is a strategy to that of running yourself in the red. It's a very risky. Yeah, it's very risky. You've got to know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. They've been thinking about it. They've planned it out. It's everything that Corvette is doing right now has been planned. With Tesla, it seems like they're constantly doing it.
Yeah.
Which leads me to kind of be concerned with, where's this company actually going? So I don't know.
I don't have stocks in it, so I don't have
to
worry.
I don't. Well, yeah. I mean, I say worry very loosely, but it's like, okay, well, if you're constantly running in the red, what does that say about your company?
Yeah. All right. I think we've run our limit on this one.
Yeah.
So cool. It's that time of day where we're gonna roll the D20 of choice. I have a list here of a bunch of different generalized topics for the future. I'm going to have you roll when you get the D20. There's a bunch of different random ones. We're going to roll a D20, and it's going to tell us what next week's topic is. Note that the value on the die means really nothing, so high, lows, whatever. But yeah, let's see what's next week's topic going to be.
Looks like it is going to be nostalgia.
So you rolled a 1?
Yes. I know. Nate, I think you were the last one to touch this dice.
All right, so next...
Fight me later.
So next week, our next video, I'm going to try to do it by week, but our next podcast, we'll basically bring up something nostalgic, and we'll do... In our case, for research, it's more of revisiting it, enjoying it, and then we'll come back and report on it.
Yep.
So, I thank you for coming to our first episode of Running Rogue. I hope it's not the only episode.
Yeah. Again, we plan on being a lot more structured, not ranting as much, but this was just kind of one of those topics that we didn't intend to rant as much as we did. And bash on
I fully expect to rant more. Just more structured rants.
Yeah, more structured rants. We definitely kind of went overboard on bashing one particular company. And, keep in mind, this is all opinion.
Yeah, it is speculation, opinion.
Keep it with a grain, or take it with a grain of salt, not keep it. But, take it with a grain of salt. And, at the end of the day, this is just opinion. And honestly, it's more just our opinion on the presentation of it. And the actual vehicle itself. But I have some much, much stronger opinions, but we'll leave those.
We'll leave those since those strong opinions aren't fully backed up by sitting in the car.
Exactly.
When we get to that point, we'll have stronger opinions.
Tesla, if you want me to like your cars, you could always send me, a Model X or something. Just saying.
If you want me to like your car, build a good car.
Not even going to argue that. No, like, in all seriousness, Elon, if you happen to hear this and you just, happen to be smoking weed and pissed off, just know you could send us each a Model X and, we could actually drive them ourselves and give a brutally honest opinion.
I'm all about that. I'm about giving the full honest... excuse me for dying of corona. But I guess we're not safe after all. But,
the bunker has been breached.
Bunker's been breached. Hey, just wanted to thank you all for listening in on our first podcast. Hopefully more to come. If you could be so kind, you can hit that bell, leave a comment, the usual stuff that happens at the end. I would have a title card here, but I haven't gotten there yet. Try to get a little better every time. I'll see you next time. Latest.